it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be
yeah.
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. Whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut.
Does Lucy actually look the part? But she's even proven exactly how much she'd love.
After the big controversy around Disney's Snow White, fans are asking for a major change, and many think Lucy Hale would be the perfect replacement for Rachel Zegler. Not only does Lucy look the part, but she also truly loves the character. With all the backlash Disney and Rachel have faced, many believe it's time for Disney to replace her with someone who can do Snow White justice. Fans argue that Lucy isn't just a great visual match, she also captures Snow White's classic charm far better than Rachel ever could. Unlike Rachel, who has criticized the original film, Lucy has shown real admiration for the character and understands why she is so iconic. From the start, Disney seemed determined to change Snow White, starting with controversial casting choices. The decision to cast Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, upset many fans, not because of her background, but because she doesn't fit Snow White's classic traits. On top of that, her negative comments about the original film only made things worse. Snow White isn't just a princess. She symbolizes kindness, resilience, and hope. She represents love, friendship, and leadership with grace. Fans believe Lucy Hale could truly bring those qualities to life, unlike Rachel, who seems more focused on changing the story rather than respecting it. Could Lucy Hale be the solution Disney needs? Is Disney's Snow White remake still salvageable, or has the studio strayed too far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Hollywood's latest controversies. One of the biggest complaints fans have about Rachel Zegler's take on Snow White is her rejection of the original story's themes, especially the love story. Rachel has argued that Snow White doesn't need a prince, calling it outdated and irrelevant for modern audiences. But here's the thing, the romance in Snow White has never been controversial. In fact, it's a beloved part of the story that fans have cherished for decades. It's clear that Disney wants to reinvent Snow White with a more independent version of the character. However, many fans feel that the studio is completely missing the mark. Love isn't anti-feminist, and removing romance from these classic tales doesn't automatically make them progressive. Disney's recent trend of erasing love stories in the name of modernization isn't empowering. It's alienating the very audience that grew up loving these classics. Another major issue is Disney's approach to diversity in its remakes. While representation is important, fans argue that altering core elements of classic stories just for inclusivity often feels forced and unnecessary. Instead of rewriting beloved fairy tales to fit a modern agenda, many believe Disney should focus on creating original stories where diverse characters can naturally shine. Disney seems to have lost touch with what made its classics magical in the first place, and the backlash over Snow White is proof of that. But what do you think? Is this remake doomed, or can Disney still turn things around? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates. Disney's decision to cast Rachel Zegler as Snow White has been one of the most debated choices in the film's production. Snow White isn't just a name. It directly describes the character's defining trait, having skin as white as snow. The story itself is a German fairy tale, deeply rooted in European culture, history, and folklore. From its enchanted forests to its fairy tale castles, everything about Snow White is tied to its European origins. So, when Disney chose an actress who doesn't match the character's original description, many fans felt it was a major mistake. To be fair, Rachel Zegler is a talented singer and could have done justice to the musical side of the role. But beyond that, she has little connection to the character. What's been especially disappointing to fans isn't just the casting choice, but Rachel's attitude toward the film and its legacy. Her comments about Snow White have often seemed dismissive, even disrespectful, making it clear that she doesn't share the same appreciation for the original story as the fans who grew up loving it. This controversy isn't about being against diversity, it's about respecting the source material. Audiences have made it clear that they want authenticity in their favorite stories, not forced changes that alter a beloved character's essence. Instead of rewriting classic tales to fit a modern agenda, Why not create new stories that naturally represent different cultures and backgrounds? With Snow White now delayed until 2025, some are wondering if Disney is in panic mode. What do you think? Should Disney have stayed true to the original vision? Or does their new approach make sense for today's audience? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the latest Hollywood controversies. Rachel Zegler has made it clear that she never really liked Snow White to begin with. In past interviews, she admitted to watching the original film only once as a child and never revisiting it, even saying it terrified her. For many fans, this raises an important question. Why cast someone in such an iconic role when they don't even appreciate or respect the source material? Rather than honoring the legacy of Snow White, Rachel's comments have often come across as dismissive, almost mocking the very film that made this remake possible. This disconnect between the actress and the character is just another reason why so many fans believe this live-action adaptation is shaping up to be a disaster.
So she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair.
Many fans believe Rachel Zegler is the wrong choice for Snow White, especially when there are many actresses who not only look the part but also respect the character's legacy. With the movie already facing massive backlash, both for its creative direction and Rachel's dismissive comments, many are now calling for a full recast. Disney has delayed the film multiple times, proving that they can make changes if the public outcry is strong enough. This isn't the first controversy surrounding the remake. When the project was first announced, many expected Disney to stay true to the original by casting actors with dwarfism. However, actor Peter Dinklage publicly criticized the decision, arguing that it played into outdated stereotypes. I was a little taken aback by Disney being very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, but at the same time, they're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Dinklage said. Take a step back and look at what you're doing. Does that make any sense? In response, rather than hiring actors with dwarfism, Disney opted for CGI versions of the dwarfs, making the film feel even more disconnected from the original. Many argue this not only took away opportunities from actors with dwarfism, but also made the adaptation feel even less authentic. The backlash over Disney's handling of Snow White has been intense, and delaying the movie to 2025 only confirms that the studio is struggling to balance modern sensibilities with classic storytelling. Whether these last-minute changes will be enough to win back audiences remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, fans are tired of seeing beloved stories changed beyond recognition. Disney is at a crossroads. Ignore the backlash and push forward with a controversial film, or take the time to truly respect Snow White's legacy. If history has taught us anything, it's that audiences reject movies that stray too far from what made them beloved in the first place. If Disney listens and reworks the project with a cast and story that honors the fairy tale's roots, they might just turn this disaster into a redemption story. What do you think? Should Disney start over and bring in Lucy Hale, or is it too late to fix the damage? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Disney's biggest controversies.